Hello and welcome. I'm Pratap Singh. You're joining us on Newsx. In 2003, the United States launched one of the world's most controversial wars in modern history, the invasion of Iraq. It was sold to the world on promises of hidden weapons of mass destruction, imminent threats, and secret ties of Iraq with Al-Qaeda. A war that reshaped the Middle East and whose legacy still haunts global politics today. In the months before the invasion, America's top leaders built their case for war. In fact, in 2021, Bruce Riedel, who served as an analyst at the CIA and as Bush's advisor during 9/11, recounted what happened in the aftermath of the September 2001 attacks. He writes, and I quote, "On September 14th, I was with Bush when he had his first phone call after 9/11 with British Prime Minister Tony Blair. Bush immediately said he was planning to hit Iraq soon. Blair was audibly taken back. He pressed Bush for evidence of Iraq's connection to the 9/11 attack and to Al-Qaeda. Of course, there was none, which British intelligence knew." Let's listen in to the comments that were made by Bush and his officials and the repeated claims.
I take the threat very seriously. I take the fact that he develops weapons of mass destruction very seriously.
Simply stated, there is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction.
That people want to be free, and given the chance to throw off a brutal dictator like Saddam Hussein, people will rejoice.
And that wasn't even the end of it. U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell went before the United Nations Security Council holding up slides and sketches of what he called mobile labs. Powell also claimed that Iraq possessed the biological weapon anthrax, which could be delivered against Iraq's neighbors or the U.S. by unmanned aerial vehicles. He also held up a small glass vial as proof. Let's see an excerpt of that.
Iraq's behavior demonstrate that Saddam Hussein and his regime have made no effort to disarm as required by the international community. Indeed, the facts and Iraq's behavior show that Saddam Hussein and his regime are concealing their efforts to produce more weapons of mass behavior.
Well, the message in 2003 was clear and unrelenting. Saddam Hussein was armed with WMDs. He was dangerous and actively colluding with terrorists. But the facts today tell a very different story. UN weapons inspectors led by Hans Blix repeatedly reported they found no evidence of active WMD programs. The now infamous yellow cake uranium documents, cited as proof of Iraq's nuclear ambitions, were exposed as crude forgeries. And the 9/11 Commission concluded there was no credible evidence of operational ties between Saddam Hussein and Al-Qaeda. When U.S. forces had invaded in March 2003, Baghdad fell within weeks, but no weapons of mass destruction were ever found. Instead, Iraq spiraled into insurgency, sectarian violence, and chaos. Al-Qaeda in Iraq emerged, eventually giving birth to ISIS. The cost was staggering. More than 4,000 American soldiers killed, hundreds of thousands of Iraqis dead, millions displaced, and a Middle East destabilized for decades. The Iraq War began with certainty from Washington. This, of course, is the curriculum vitae of the United States of America. As it blames India for fueling the Russian war, here's a war where 1 lakh people were killed that was started on false suspicion and fabricated documents. So now again, as happened then, was a man brandishing the might of America, taunting his guns at the world from his White House. This time it's President Trump and his tariffs being paraded as the ultimate punishment for those who have wronged Trump's fragile ego. But the world is, of course, different now. The other countries may not have spoken up then, but now many will stand up to American bullying. This time, better partnerships will be forged based on mutual commitment to improving human lives rather than the diktat of a superior economy or a military regime.